Welcome back to the Jessica Ruth Knits podcast. I'm Jessica, and this is a podcast about knitting, with a little bit of homesteading thrown in, and just general life, but it's mostly about knitting. You can find me on Ravelry as Sergeant Griff's Girl. It's SGTGRIFFS Girl, GIRL. I'm on Instagram as Jessica Ruth Knits, and I'm on Facebook as Jessica Knits. We do have a Ravelry podcast group, so I would love if you would come over, join the group, join in the conversation, and just get to know us. I love being on the Ravelry forum groups. So that's where you can find me. I'm going to try to do it a little bit differently this week. I'm going to try to save the general life-ish talk for the end. That way, if you guys want to stay tuned for what's going on in my life, you can. And if you're just here for the knitting, then you don't have to sit through all of my chatter. So, I'll do the knitting first, and then we'll just talk about how my doctor's appointment in Memphis went, and what's going on in the homestead, and what's coming up this month in October. Today is October 10th. It's Columbus Day. And yeah, it's about 9 in the morning, I guess. So the light's a little bit different. But Tim's sleeping, and so I thought I would try to sneak in the podcast before he wakes up. So let's get on with it. My very first finished object, you might notice, is my dotted rays. And I keep calling it my doodler. I don't know why. I made the doodler last year. This is the dotted rays. And it's another Stephen West. And it's huge. Look at this. So it starts here. I think this is my favorite part, just where all the colors come together. And it goes over and over. By the end of this thing, the rows were so long. Like that. So it's longer than my wingspan. And it used mostly, well, it's all stash yarn and leftovers. This blue, I don't even know what it is. This gray is candy skein, which I bought when I was back home in California. This is Knit Picks, the Stroll Brights. I believe it's the pickle juice colorway. And then this is Hedgehog Fibers. I made some socks out of this, and so I had a little bit left over. And then it just, the same colors repeat. So what I did was, I did 2 wedges in the colors, and then 1 of the gray, and 2 in the colors, and 1 in the gray, and so on. You could do the shawl all one color, you can do all the wedges different colors. This is just what I had that kind of went together. So I went with it. And at the end, I was running out of green, so instead of doing 2 wedges in green, I just did 1, and then finished off with 1 in the gray, and an I-cord edging. Yeah. So, that is the dotted rays. I really worked on this a ton this week, because the new Stephen West shawl is coming out. Well, it came out on Friday for the mystery knit along, and I want to do that. Oh, this thing is huge. But I wanted to finish one Stephen West shawl before I cast on for the second one. So that was my, there's Harley. That was my incentive to finish the dotted rays so that I can cast on for the building blocks cowl. I'm going to show you my yarn for the building blocks cowl in the acquisitions. I haven't wound it up yet because I wanted to show it on the podcast. Yeah, so hopefully tonight I'll be able to cast that on. My other finished object, you saw last week. It is my 3 Pips M-Cowl, but I was able to wash it and block it, and I had a viewer ask a question about how I carried the yarn up the edges without it being obvious, and it was explained in the pattern, but it was kind of vague. So luckily I've done a bunch of shawls, so I knew, I kind of just went with it without really reading it as if I was a beginner. So it's blocked now, so you can really see the nups, or the picot bind off, and the lace really opened up. And again, this one is huge. This one is a lot, Bartok's playing with it again. It's a lot skinnier than the dotted rays, so it's more like a scarf shawl. So I think this is the widest part right here. But then it just goes over, and then all the way to the solid blue. So, what I'm going to show you, and I hope I can explain it well enough. Let me find where I carried the yarn. Okay, here. And I didn't weave in the ends yet because it's still wet from blocking. Sorry, the cat just loves the ends. So this is the right side, and you can't see where I carried, except for that little fuzzy pute. You can't see where I carried the yarn. On the back side, it's barely visible right there. So it is carried 2 stitches in from the end. Because you are always increasing on this edge, and I'm going to try to explain it without giving away any secrets of the pattern. But one edge you're always increasing on. So if you carry the yarn on the edge, right on the very edge, you're gonna see the contrasting color yarn. But if you carry it in 2 stitches in kind of parallel on the back side, then it will always be only 2 stitches away when you need it. And you won't be able to see it on the front side. And it's close enough to the edge on the back side you won't notice. So, for example, if you do your increase, so say it's like knit front and back, and then knit 1, and then you're supposed to, you know, continue along the row. I would knit front and back, knit 1. Would I do it on the... No, I would grab it on the way back. Okay, so I would do that row normal, and then on the way back, I would knit until I have 2 stitches left. Then I would capture that contrasting yarn, the one I'm carrying. I would capture it just with the other yarn so it was held up. And then I would knit 1, knit front and back. So that way it's kind of 3 stitches in. Then the next row, you know, you knit your front and back, you continue across the row, and then on the next row back, you skip over where it is, and you go to the last 2 stitches. And so that way, it brings it diagonally with the edge of the shawl. I really don't know if I'm explaining it right. Or it's way easier to show you, but I can't show you because it's already done. So you go until you have the 2 stitches left on that edge, and then you capture the yarn with the yarn that you're using. You capture the contrasting yarn, and then you knit your 1 and knit front and back, or whatever the increase is. Yeah, I think that's the best way I can explain it. Feel free to PM me if you have more specific questions, or if I wasn't in detailed enough. Maybe I can do a couple screenshots on the forum thread if you need it. But that is what I did, and it creates, you can't even tell on the back side. I mean, see there, you can see it. But again, you don't see the carried yarn on the front. So, sorry, the kitten is just, she loves ends. Spartuck, stop. So, I hope that was good enough. That was my 3 pips Cowl, and it's still very wet, so I'm going to hang it up when I'm done. Okay, that is all of my finished objects. Because my dotted rays was so big, it took up most of my knitting time. I also worked quite a bunch on my Cozy Memories blanket, but I don't have that here to show you. So I will show you next week the squares that I did this week, plus next week's. I'm trying to put progress keepers on all of the new squares, so that way I don't have to show you the whole blanket, and I can just show you like a quick view of the whole blanket, and then I'll show you the squares that I did that week. So I'm trying to square it off. So I have it long, and now I'm trying to square it rectangle-wise. That way it'll just always be a blanket shape, rather than having it be really long, you know, long and short. So I'll show you next week. What I have been working on this week. Once I finished my dotted rays, I needed to start a pair of socks for my dad for Christmas. So I cast these on, and these are Knit Picks Felici in the Beyond the Wall colorway, which is a Game of Thrones reference. And I didn't pick, my dad doesn't watch Game of Thrones, but I just thought he would like the colors. And you will have seen these before because I made a pair for somebody else who I won't say who. But this is my dad's socks. So they're toe up. I'm just about to the heel. after I finish this lighter color now. And then I'll do a fish lips kiss heel. And I'm going to go about an inch past the fish lips kiss heel, and then I'm just going to do ribbed for the rest of the way. So it'll probably be a knit 2, purl 2 rib the whole way up. Just to give it a little bit more elasticity. I feel like for a guy's foot, they like that ribbing. So, I've never made my dad hand knit socks before, so I hope he likes them. But for Christmas, everybody's getting hand knit socks. So, these are my dad's. I'm doing toe up just because the last pair I did was cuff down, and I like to change it up. These are my Chigu size 0 needles. Depending on the yarn, I switch between 0s and 1s, but I made a pair, the last pair I made of the Felici, I used 1s, and it's a little bit too open of a fabric for me. So I really like the fabric that the 0s give me. So that's that side. This side has a little bit of a, not a ladder, but just like an indentation from the double points. But yeah, so that is Dad's sock. So I'm going to put a progress keeper on it, so that way next week I can show you guys how much I did since this week. Okay. I got commissioned to make a Lovey toy, and I've made quite a few of them before, but this one, my friend wanted a Razorback Lovey. So the Razorbacks are, it's the Arkansas college football team, but it's really the only team that Arkansas has, and so everybody here goes crazy for the Razorbacks. I grew up in California, and we had so many different teams, so nobody was, I mean, it wasn't like everybody in California rooted for one team. Just in the Bay Area alone, we had the Giants, we had the A's, we had the Sharks, we had the 49ers, we had the Raiders. I mean, so there was, just in my little area, there was a ton of different teams. Well, Arkansas only has one team, and it's the college team, and they are so wrapped up in the Razorbacks, which I think is awesome. I mean, everybody has everything Razorbacks. So, my girlfriend wanted a Razorback Lovey for her little baby. So she gave me this yarn to use. This is Pluscious. I don't know the colorway. Again, she gave it to me, so I didn't buy it. But, I have made a few Loveys out of this, and I love it. However, for the head portion, you won't really be able to tell what it is if I use this yarn. So I used some stash yarn, and I'm not happy with the pig head yet. I haven't quite got the ears down, and you'll see why. So this is, his little nose is popping out. This is my Razorback guy. I'm just not sure about the ears. This is the second ear I've tried. I think it's too big. It looks like a deer, maybe? I don't know. The first one looked like a mouse. It just looked like a red mouse. So I took those ears off. I made this one, and I'm still not happy with it. I added tusks because the Razorback has tusks. And I wanted it to look more Razorbacky than mouse or deer or whatever it looks like now. So I'm going to try a different ear, which is why these ends are still hanging down, because I didn't sew it in all the way, because I knew I'd probably want to change it. And then I will use this for the body, and I'll probably crochet a big square. So it's just something for the baby to hold on to. This Pluscious is so soft. Sorry, hang on, I dropped it. And the cats are going to think it's a toy if I don't pick it up. It's so incredibly soft. The bummer is the ends don't stay woven in because there's nothing really for it to grab onto. So you kind of have to tack the ends down with coordinating thread in order to get them to not pop out. Sorry, Bartok is going crazy. So I love Pluscious. I think it's an awesome Lovey yarn, but beware that the ends don't stay in. And it all kind of just blends together. So you can't tell mistakes, which is good, but you also can't tell if it's supposed to be a lamb or a pig or whatever it's supposed to be. So, those are my works in progress. And then I have a lot to talk about with what is coming up. Okay, Stephen West, the Building Blocks Mystery Knit Along. I was at a loss for colors, guys. Hey, kitty. Where is she? There she is. He just said use four colors that you like. Up to 2 speckled crazy ones and 2 kind of solids that pop. Well, that really doesn't help me. I like when a pattern says use 1 speckled, 1 that matches, 1, solid, 1 tonal, whatever. I like it to be specific, and this pattern was not. So I had the hardest time picking colors. I wanted to use yarn from Stash mostly because I have a huge stash and I just want to start getting it down a little bit. I keep bringing new yarn in, and so I at least want to try to be observant of how much yarn I'm using from my stash. So, okay, it's going to be crinkly. Hang on. Okay, the color I wanted, my main color, is this. This is from Hot Knits, and it is Gray Bonfire, and oh my goodness, I love this yarn. I'm not sure if I've showed it on the podcast before, but it has all my favorites. It's got all the purples, the fire reds, the yellows, look at the teal blues, the dark blues, there. It's just got, it is so pretty. So, this was the color. I knew I wanted this one. I didn't know what I was going to put with it. So I went digging around my stash, and I'm going to do, oh, that does not look very good. It's getting way washed out, but it's the same purple as in here. So I'm going to have purple. I'm going to have yellow. This one is Leading Men Fiber Arts. There's our tag. In the angel hair colorway. And the purple one is Vice. And the colorway is Unique. It's Youneek, which is a unique way of spelling it. So, those. And then I'm going to throw in this teal. So it'll be like that. The teal is Vice yarns in the color Cowl. So I think those will be really pretty together. Yeah, so tonight I have to wind them all up so I can cast on, and I can't find my ball winder. So either I'm going to have to look really hard, or I'm going to have to wind them all by hand, which is going to be really annoying. I've been winding everything by hand, but only because I've only had to wind 1, maybe 2 skeins at a time, so it's not been that bad. So having to wind 4 fingering weight skeins is going to be annoying. But yeah, but I'm excited to start. So it'll get done. The cats are just going crazy. They are like perfectly calm all the time until it's podcasting time. And then they just are possessed. So, Stephen West, Mystery Knit Along, the Building Blocks shawl. A lot of people have started already. It looks really unique, really Stephen Westy, and so I'm excited to start and cast on. Okay. What? Oh, okay. Acquisitions. I tried to be really good this week, and I mostly was. So, my sister just got married in Hawaii, as many of you know if you've seen my previous episodes, and I asked her if they wanted for a wedding gift a handmade blanket, and she said absolutely. So then I was like, well, crap, I have to make them a blanket, which, I mean, I really want to, but a blanket is a big undertaking. So I went to Knit Picks and I ordered some yarn, and I asked my sister, I said, what color would you want? And she's like, oh, gray. And I was like, okay, like solid gray? She's like, yeah, sure. I don't want to knit a solid gray blanket. So I asked her if I could throw some color in it, and she's like, do whatever you want, you know, we'll love it. So they are a super beachy couple. Like, they got married in Hawaii. They are renting this little house, and you can walk to the beach from it. So I thought, to keep with the gray colors, I would do kind of an ocean-y themed blanket. And I'm going to crochet it, because it'll take a whole lot less time. And I don't get to crochet that much, so I thought this would be a fun time to break out my crochet hooks. So, I ordered, this is all Knit Picks Bravo worsted. I ordered the dark gray, which, does it say the color? Oh, Cobblestone Heather. And the light gray, which is Dove Heather. And the cream, which the color is cream. So we're like that. So those are the neutrals that'll be in it. And then I ordered Tide Pool and, excuse me, Marina. So let's hold them all up together, if I can fit them all in my hands. Like this. So I ordered way more of these and just a couple of these. That way the blues will just be pops of color, but it'll be mostly grays with a little bit more cream and then some pops of blue. So I hope they like it. I'm sure they will, because they're the kinds of people that like whatever you make them. Her now husband, I keep calling him her fiance, I made him a beanie one year, and he talks about it all the time. He just seems very knit-worthy, so I'm happy to knit them, or crochet them a blanket if that's what they want. But I didn't want to go ahead and go to all the work if it was just going to be an Afghan that they were going to throw in the closet and not use at all, because I'd rather just buy them a gift at that point than spend all the time making something that they won't use. So when she said that they would love it, I thought, okay, and I ordered the yarn, and it came really quick, and now I just have to cast on. So that's my blanket for my sister. I have a pattern picked out, I think. I purchased a crochet pattern on Ravelry, but the cat is playing. Kitty kitty. But I'm not 100% sold, so I think I'll try it and see if I like how it's turning out. And then if I don't, I'll do something different. But the one I picked it's kind of got waves, so it's like, I imagine it goes single crochet, half double, double, you know, and then back down, so to create that wave part. And then the next row fills it in opposite. So I think I'm going to try that just to keep with the beachy waves theme. Oh goodness, that cat. But yeah. Okay, so another one that came in the mail. I ordered some minis from Simple Love, and hang on for the crinkling. Let's open this. Okay, you know what? I'm going to pause it because the cat's being really loud. Okay, I'm back. I think the cat has quieted down now. So, I ordered minis from Simple Love, who I follow on Etsy, or I follow on Instagram, and I absolutely love her. I watch her podcast, and she is just so fun and so sweet, and I really want one of her project bags, but I have to save up for that. So, I kind of consoled myself and just got some minis, and all of these I can put in my blanket. So, this is the Great British Bake Off mini skein colors, and it's by Simple Love. So the pink one, let's see, it's showing up more bright than it is. The pink one is going to go in my pink squares for my color blanket, and then these three can go in my neutrals, my main one, cozy memory blanket that I'm doing. They just feel so soft. They're so fun. Here, let me take them out of the tag. I hope you guys can see. You see all the colors in there? So there's that one. This one is more blues and purples, with a little bit of speckles thrown in. Then this one is mostly grays with some, oh, it's got some really fun blue purple speckles in it. That. And then the pink one, to get, oh, won't show. Sorry, it's too bright. No. The pink one will go in my pink blanket. Or in my scrappy socks that I want to start. So, I will use, I'm keeping all 4 of these for me. It's just a matter of if I use them in my blanket or in scrappy socks. I really want to start a pair of scrappy socks because everybody, oh, the cat's playing over behind the fridge. Everybody that's made scrappy socks, they just look so fun and cute and kind of whimsical. And what a fun way to use up your minis instead of just putting them in your blanket. So I might do both. I might add a square in my blanket and then use the rest for scrappy socks. So, Simple Love Made, go check her out. She has a podcast as well. Yeah, I love them. I can't wait to use them. Sorry. Okay. Oh, I have 2 more acquisitions, and then I'm done. I'll start with this one. Nicole of Hugh Loco is doing a Grocery Girls colorway. And I'm pretty sure she still has it for pre-order. I could be wrong. They could all be gone. But she collaborated with the Grocery Girls, and she asked them what their favorite color was. And they couldn't decide. So, the color is, it's like a gray skein, and then it just has a whole bunch of different colors in it, without being too rainbowy. And then, so I ordered that a month ago, maybe? Maybe when I was in Hawaii. It was a pre-order, so I don't know when it'll come. But then she put up, the next week, she put up contrasting colors, coordinating contrasting colors that match the colors that are in the Grocery Girls colorway. So this one came already. So it's by Hugh Loco. I've never used any of her yarns, and I can't wait. This one is jewel pink, but to me it's more of a purple. I mean, it's still a jewel tone, but I would have said purple, but what do I know? So this will match the Grocery Girls, so I'm going to put them together, probably in a shawl. Yeah, but I'm really excited to get the Grocery Girls whenever it comes. It's always like a surprise going to my mailbox, because I ordered this one in the Grocery Girls a while ago, but since it was pre-order, I kind of just forgot about it. So now it's here. Okay, and the last one. We went to Memphis, which is about 3 hours away, for a doctor's appointment on Tuesday. And the first thing I did when I knew we were going to Memphis was I looked to see if there was a yarn shop. And there was. And so we got there. We got to Memphis with plenty of time to go to the yarn shop and still get to my doctor's appointment. And it ends up, it's only like 2 miles away from the hospital. So when we have to go back next time, I envision a trip back to the yarn shop. It's called Yarniverse. Or is it Yarntopia? Where did I put the... Oh, here. Yarniverse. And it's in Memphis, Tennessee. And I took that hot yarn color that I was going to look for my Stephen West shawl, but they didn't really have anything that went with it. And that was before I found the colors in my stash. So then I just decided, what the heck, I'm here. I might as well buy a skein of yarn. So this is Mad Tosh. And it's the color Cardinal. And it's such a pretty red. Like that, maybe? Yeah. It's just got so many different, right there, variations of red in it. So I'm going to use this and make the Fidra hat. I believe it's F-I-D-R-A. This is it's Tosh Chunky. And the pattern calls for chunky, I'm pretty sure. And it's just like a beanie, but it's got some chart work, and then it's got a big old pom-pom on it. So I'm going to make that because it's starting to get cold, and you can never have enough hats. And I like red, like with my dark hair. So, and I don't have a red hat. So I figured this one, it's one that I'll actually just cast on pretty soon, and it won't just sit in my stash like a lot of the yarns I buy do. So, that was the last of my purchases. Yeah, that's everything that's on my notes. Okay, so if you were just here for the knitting and the yarn and all of that goodness, I'm done talking about that. Well, I'm done only talking about that. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about our infertility struggle and how our doctor's appointment went and what we're going to be doing in the future. So, if you just came for the yarn, thank you for coming. You guys can check out now. If you want to stay around, thanks for staying and learning a little bit about me. So, we went to Memphis on Tuesday to go to my infertility appointment. Now, as I mentioned in my previous podcast, my husband and I have been struggling with infertility for, today is our 9-year wedding anniversary. So, for 9 years. A year and a half of that, he was deployed. So, obviously, we weren't trying then. But we'll say about 7 years we've been actively trying. We have seen so many different infertility doctors. We have tried, this medication and that medication, and I've had to give myself shots in the stomach, which I do not do shots. So that was so hard. And so when we moved to Arkansas only has one infertility doctor, and one clinic, and that is in Little Rock. So we thought, great, it's close by, it's only like an hour away. We didn't like it. And I'm not going to go on and on like I did last time about it, but we did not like the clinic. We gave it 3 cycles to try. We liked the doctor, we did not like the clinic. So then we took a break, and we just said, let's sit on it, let's think about what we want to do. Do we want to look into adoption? Do we want to continue? Do we want to do IVF? What do we want to do? So we kind of took a year off from the doctors. And now, we decided we're ready to go back. We want to get back into the swing of trying and seeing what our options are. So we scheduled this appointment in Memphis to go kind of talk to him about what his plan would be and what he would recommend for us. So we've tried IUIs, which is like the turkey basting method. So they basically inject my husband's semen up inside. And you have about a 50-50, no, you have less than a 50-50 chance, I think. Anyways, your chances aren't that much greater, but they're more, you have about the same chance as a normal person of getting pregnant. Because I have PCOS, so I don't ovulate, it's really hard to get pregnant, yada yada. So we went to this new doctor, and he was so frank, and I loved that. It wasn't exactly what I wanted to hear, but I've always had doctors that, so basically he told me that I need to lose weight, which I know. I know that I need to lose weight. But coming from his stance, he said, we can do treatments, but they're not going to work as well as they would if you lost weight. So basically you'd be throwing your money away. We can do it if you want, that's fine, but it's not going to be that effective. So if you lose some weight, then we can do it, and then you'll have a way better chance of getting pregnant, and just being healthier in general. So he was very frank. He said you need to lose about 75 pounds in order for IVF to work, or in order to have better chances with IVF, in order just to carry your pregnancy better, and just to be healthier in general. So, obviously, I almost broke down in tears in his office, because nobody wants to be told that they have to lose weight. I know it, I want to lose weight, but just hearing the doctor say it was like, oh crap, I really do need to lose weight. So, he put me on some medications, not for weight loss, but for fertility. He put me on a medication to bring on my period, because I haven't had a period in 3 months, maybe 2.5. So I should be starting my period semi-soon. He put me on another one to regulate the insulin because of my PCOS. He did a whole bunch of blood work, he did an ultrasound, and then we have an appointment coming up in November, the 2nd, I think. So, I made a goal. I want to lose 75 pounds by my birthday next year. So my birthday is coming up this week on Friday. It's the 14th. And so I just figured a year to lose 75 pounds and just get healthy. I figured that's a reasonable goal. It's a doable goal. It's not crazy. The doctor actually suggested weight loss surgery, and I really don't want to do that. I like doing everything as naturally as possible. So the idea of having surgery to lose weight, for me, I'm just not there yet. I don't know. I guess because I'm so overweight, I'm a candidate for it, but I'd really like to try to do it on my own, with the help of a diet and exercise program, and see how that goes before I resort to surgery. So, okay, so my big goal, and I'm telling you guys all so you can keep me accountable, and I need cheerleaders, and yeah, so my big goal is 75 pounds by October 14th of next year, because that will be my 33rd birthday, and it would just be awesome to be able to be in a place where we could get pregnant. So, 75 pounds by October 14th, 2017, I'm going to do it. I also broke down my big goal into smaller goals. So, my goal by my next appointment, so November 2nd or 3rd, is to lose 10 pounds. But I'm kind of already there. So, and then my second goal is 20 pounds by Christmas. So, that's what I'm working towards. That's realistic. It's not losing a ton of weight way too fast. Yeah, so it's realistic, it's doable. 20 pounds in 2 months at my size is not asking too much. So, I've been going to the gym. My goal is to go 5 times a week and work out. My girlfriend is going to try to lose some weight too, so we're going to be accountability partners. And I charged my Fitbit, and so I've been wearing it. And we challenge each other on the Fitbit to see who can walk more steps. And what else? Oh, okay, I really like sugar. And I know it's really bad for me, but I'm just like addicted to it. So, I love coffee drinks, like frappes from McDonald's, frappuccinos from Starbucks, pumpkin spice mochas. I don't like pumpkin spice lattes, I like pumpkin spice mocha, which basically is like a pumpkin spice latte with chocolate. I like the chili mocha. Oh my goodness. All of those are crazy amounts of sugar. So, I told myself no more. No, like, I completely went cold turkey on coffee drinks, on sugary drinks. No more. So I can go to Starbucks, and I do after the gym as my treat, and I get an iced tea. And that way I still feel like I'm at Starbucks. Like, I don't have, like, I love going to Starbucks and sitting and knitting. And so to have to give up the coffee drinks and not go to Starbucks, it's just, I don't know, it would be really hard. So, for now, I can get iced tea. I get it black, no sweetener, no water. So